I think it's time to have a discussion. I'll hear you out, go on. Dreisaitl and McDavid are old news. Let me introduce you to the bald bread man and the mustachioed laugh. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Rangers, and I'm here to talk about Game 13 of the regular season, where the Rangers win 4-1 over the Minnesota Wild in a night where Alexis Lafreniere records a 3-point night, and Artemi Panarin extends his point streak to 13 games. And if you're doing the math at home, they've only played 13 games, so there is yet to be a team to keep Artemi Panarin off the score sheet. And that jinx is going to age wonderfully. Can't wait for Saturday. But until we get to that, let's talk about this game. Rangers score first. Vincent Trocheck gets the Rangers on the board in the first period. A really nice keep-in by Erik Gustafsson, who, by God, just looks so good to start the season for the New York Rangers. I had a feeling he was going to be the best move of the offseason that the Rangers made. I just thought it was going to be kind of graded on a bell curve, and he was going to be the best by proxy. I did not think he was going to become this good. I mean, he's been absolutely magnificent for the Rangers. He's looked great 5-on-5. He's looked great on the power play. He's looked great on the penalty kill. There's been nothing that Erik Gustafsson hasn't been able to do for the Rangers. And I mean, my God, obviously you can't say the best of the offseason, but I think there is a legitimate case to be made that Erik Gustafsson was the best value move of the offseason in the NHL. He's looked easily like a top 4 defenseman on the Rangers, and that is not an easy feat. Like, they had 3 really, really good. They had a Norris-winning defenseman, a guy who, if there was a purely defensive defenseman award, because that's not what the Norris is anymore, it's just whoever scores the most points, but that's a conversation for a different day. A guy who is legitimately one of the best stay-at-home defensemen in the league in Trouba, and Miller, who is a blossoming star. He is easily in the top 4 of them. Mind-blowing, but that's enough praise for him on this one singular play. Beautiful keep-in by Gustafsson. Passes over to Alexis Lafreniere, and my God, what a pass to set up Trocheck from Lafreniere over to Trocheck. Nice shot. Rangers get on the board 1-0. So the Rangers in the first period get the first goal of the game, absolutely dominate. Shots were 14-2 leaving the first period. I want to say it got to like 12-1 at one point in favor of the Rangers. And then they head into the second period. And Uno reverse. Just as the Rangers ran the Wild away in the first, the Wild come back in the second and run the Rangers off the ice. 14-2 were shots in the first, 15-3 was in the second in favor of the Wild this time. It's so beautiful. And God bless Louis Domingue, who stopped 14 of the 15 shots. The only one that he didn't stop, I cannot in good conscience remotely put on Domingue. He was magnificent in the last 40 minutes of this game. He is a incredibly big reason, and it might not seem like it on account that the Rangers kind of tallied up the score in the last 5 minutes. He was a huge reason the Rangers were able to win this game, and the only goal that he allowed, I cannot in good conscience put on him. It's a cycle by the Wild. It's at the blue line. I think Hartman had the keep in. No, it was Faber who had the keep in, passed it to Hartman, back to Faber. Fires it on net. Duheim right in front of him. There were 4 players in front of Louis Domingue on this play, and it was a really nice tip by Duheim. It sneaks past. The Wild tie the game up at 1, but very early in this third period, the Rangers retake the lead. It's obviously shown up on the score sheet a lot for Panarin, who now is at 22 points in 13 games. But Alexis Lafreniere got his 7th, 8th, and 9th point of the night in the form of a goal and 2 assists. And this goal, man, beautiful, beautiful assist from Artemi Panarin and a fantastic finish from Alexis Lafreniere. Obviously, Panarin's going to get a lot of the kudos for this shot. And also, this is important. Panarin has shot the puck a lot more this season, and because of that, there is a very legitimate chance the shot is coming from him. Last season, I think Marc-Andre Fleury might have saved that because there's a much bigger chance that Panarin's going to pass it, and I think he would have read it like that. But because now Panarin has shown, hey, I am going to shoot probably first, he couldn't cheat at all. He had to stay with Panarin the whole way, and then a beautiful pass over to Lafreniere with the big finish. The Rangers take a 2-1 lead. And they weren't done. I mean, they were done for a while, but then late in the third period on the power play, the Rangers passing it around. They were done for a while, but late in the third period on a power play, Will Cooley fires it to the net. It's saved, but the rebound pounced on by Blake Wheeler. His first as a New York Ranger, his first of the season, and the Rangers take a 3-1 lead. Then you would get one more goal for the Rangers. It was an empty net, Artemi Panarin. And, I understand that it is an empty net goal. So that does count for something. But that was a absolute missile from his own blue line. That was insane that he shot it that hard. That is one of the better empty net goals I have ever seen. He practically did it from his defensive zone, and it was a missile. That is the new Panarin, and I am very here for it. So for the Rangers, obviously the story is the second line and Louis Domingue, and I will talk about that. But I have to beforehand. I understand it was a loss, and he let in 3, even though only one of them was really his fault. Now Marc-Andre Fleury is 3rd all-time in career saves among goaltenders in the NHL, and I just have to heap praise at him. He is one of my absolute favorite players to ever play hockey. He is one of my absolute heroes as a goaltender. I absolutely adore Marc-Andre Fleury, and I had to put him becoming the 3rd all-time leader in saves in this video somewhere. I can't get enough of him. He is one of my absolute favorite athletes. Not even hockey players or goaltenders, just one of my favorite athletes to watch, and especially to listen to when he's mic'd up. He is one of the all-time characters in the sport of hockey, and seeing him reach 3rd all-time, even though it was against my team, was a very special moment. So, with that done, the Rangers, the second line is ridiculous. You have Vincent Trocheck getting his 4th goal, his 3rd in 2 games. He is finally starting to click. I absolutely love Filip Chytil. The Rangers are going to have a very, very unpleasant question once he returns, which is, do you move Chytil down to the 3rd line, or do you move Trocheck back to it? I think it's only been a couple of games. I think you got to leave Trocheck with Laff and Panarin. I think that is the winning formula. Chytil and them looked great. They were fantastic when Chytil was with those two. But this is just another level. They have all 3 of them been out of this world the past few games. I feel bad relegating Chytil to the 3rd line coming out of an injury, but by God, I don't think you can break this up right now. They look fantastic, and honestly, I think a 3rd line of Will Cooley, Filip Chytil, couldn't think of it, and Capo Caco, I think that could be pretty okay. I would like to see what that looks like. I think Wheeler's going to gain a lot of confidence. He gets a goal tonight. I thought he looked fine the night before and tonight, or the game before and tonight. I'm fine with him sticking with Mika and Kreider on the first line, and then obviously I do think that is the right wing for that line. It's something you're going to have to address down the road. But as for right now, I think the top 9 have got to be Kreider, Mika, Wheeler. Obviously, just stick with this. Just keep it Panarin, Laff, and Trocheck. And then 3rd line, I'd love to see Chytil get a look with Cooley and Kako on either side. I think that would be a nice thing to try out for a few games. That's the offense. The main star, Louis Domingue, played fantastic. I absolutely blown away with his game tonight. I want to make sure 25 of 26. And the last few minutes of the 3rd period, when the Wild had pulled their goaltender, 3 minutes-ish, or 2 minutes before the Panarin goal of the 6-on-5 empty net, he had to make some unreal saves, and especially the second period, going 14 to 15. Domingue absolutely earned being the second star of this game, and I feel bad because he dazzled. He absolutely dazzled. But the Rangers, man, they have Shesterkin. Obviously, nothing is changing with Igor Shesterkin. Quick has been fantastic as the backup. I don't think he cracks the backup. I would love to see him be moved at the deadline, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Possibly. If the Rangers decide to keep him as a really, really solid 3rd option, that's fine, because I would like him to be on my team. But watching that, he really deserves to be a backup somewhere, and for his benefit, I would like to see him possibly be moved, and that could maybe get you something in return, or maybe you throw him in as a sweetener to retain cap. I think that's a very real option, but that's a totally other topic for a totally other night. Right now, just appreciate the fact that he had an absolutely fantastic game. And his first win, I want to say, since January of 2022, which is absurd to think about, or at least regular season. A fantastic night from him. The defense was not quite as good as it has been, especially in the 2nd and 3rd, but the 3rd comes with the asterisk of... Actually, I take that back entirely. The 3rd period doesn't really matter for that, because a good bit of their chances in the 3rd came when they had the empty net. So that's basically a power play, and that feels not right to blame that on them. It was a very solid game for the New York Rangers, especially the offense. which has really been a theme for the Rangers to this point. And now you have an extra couple of days off. You get Friday and Saturday off. They'll play again Sunday night. They'll play Columbus, still in MSG, at 7 o'clock. And then you get like a month off before the Devils game. Good job again, by the way, NHL. So happy about that. But as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Rangers.